How long will man be deluded and blind to the simple teachings of the Word of God? It is no vain or unimportant question. Is human philosophy to supersede divine revelation? Is the prescriptive applause of centuries to render us insensible to the inquiry whether God or man is to be trusted? If the earth is indeed a globe, then the whole history of the flood is palpably imperfect and untrue. Unless the earth were a plain, Moses invented all the particulars connected with that event, from the beginning to the end. 40 days and 40 nights, rain could not have half flooded as many acres. And when, somehow or other, the waters did cover the whole earth and the tops of the highest hills, they could not possibly have dispersed again by any means which the most scientific, skilled could account for or devise. Oh, the sun and the wind dried it. Why then has not the sun and the wind dried up the seas during the space of nearly 6,000 years? No, these waters have not diminished by one single hogshead since the day the flood was at its height. The rain of the 40 days and 40 nights merely helped by its weight to submerge the plane of the earth below the level of the great deep, and the flood therefore consisted of the eruption of the salt water from the ocean, and not, as is supposed, the fresh water from the sky. The sea sand, the sea shells, and shingle, which are found hundreds of miles inland, prove this. Then, at the end of so many days, God made a strong wind to pass over the earth, and the waters returned. Mark the expression return from off the earth continually. They could not have returned from off a globe unless we could see the waters stacked up into mountains, with the dry earth lying at their base. When the weight of the water was displaced by the high wind, the earth rose again like a submerged vessel, and its surface was drained of its moisture like the decks of a ship heaved up from beneath. Others draw on the plea that the shadow of an eclipsed moon shows the spherical form of the earth, but they omit one very essential fact, which is to prove that the shadow must be that of the earth at all. And unfortunately for these sages, the eclipse of the moon has been known to occur while the sun was yet visible above the horizon, thus showing that the earth's shadow had nothing to do with the phenomena on these occasions. That there is a shadow no one denies, but it is sufficient for one case that it cannot be that of the earth. Then again, of the disappearing of the decks of an outward bound ship. A long line of gas lamps at night on a perfectly level road or escapade proves that the apparent sinking of the more distant ones is a mere optical delusion, and clearly explains the apparent sinking of the ship's hull to the least intelligent observer.